Hey guys, amazing time that we're in. If you're not feeling this, I think maybe you don't have a pulse. Right now, we are in such a major shift point. It kind of blows me away because we have Mars at the 29th degree of Pisces being opposed by the Virgo moon, but it's getting ready, Mars, to cross back into Aries tonight at like 7 p.m. Pacific time. And I'm in California at the moment. And it's square the moon's nodes, our past and our future. And Mars is the planet of action, of war, of aggression. It rules Aries, so it's going to be super strong in its home sign. But what always blows me away is, like, when you look back at your life, you know, the eclipses. We're in the middle of the 3 eclipses. We've already had 2. We had the major one in Capricorn on December 25th or 26th. Of 2019, depending where you were on the planet. And this is huge. Like, Saturn as well is going to retrograde back into Capricorn on July 1st. There's so much happening. Like, the United Kingdom is getting ready to fully reopen on July 4th, but Saturn 3 days before that. And here's the thing too, July 4th, it's our Independence Day in America from Great Britain. The tyranny, the oppression. You know, the settlers here, the colonists in the United States were like, nope, we're out of here. We're not gonna do this anymore. And so they cut it off. And now here we have the UK saying we're gonna have full freedom on July 4th. I don't know if that's gonna happen, you know, and if it does, they might end up shutting down really quickly. I don't really buy into the whole viral thing as being super legitimate. That's like for another story. But the reality is the astrology is screaming massive change. And 12 years ago, when we had the eclipses, it's so funny too, because, like, what were you doing 12 years ago, right? So this is like the flip point of that. For me, I was single. I had divorced my husband and left him in like July of 2019. The divorce was finalized early June of 2010. And then during that eclipse in 2012, there was a benefit concert here locally, and a girlfriend of mine had a band, and she had 3 of us doing backup. And at one point I was dressed like Cher, with a full-on, like, plumed, like, black raven feather that looked kind of blue headdress and a long wig. And I remember a little girl coming up to ask for my autograph in the bathroom. And it's funny, because from the time I was like 14 or 15, people would say, oh my God, you know, you look like Cher. And I'm like, yeah, okay, well, you know, maybe a little bit, but it's the Native American, the cheekbones and all that. But I was happily on my own at that point, figuring out after a 25-year relationship where I wanted to be. And so now this is the flip of where we were 8 years ago. And I'm still single, so partnership is going to come up for me, I'm sure, you know, and somebody who's really ready to step in fully to where I'm at. And, you know, we're all at different levels, and that's okay. But it's really interesting when you go through something in your life and you fully lived it and embodied it and expressed it, and then the synchronicity of a friend going through the same thing. And so you're able to share your experience, your wisdom, how you handled that, because you can see more clearly, 2020, right, clear vision, what that was, and you're watching this person go through it, so you're like, you know what, let me spare you a little pain. If you're open enough and willing enough to listen, maybe you don't have to go through what I went through. Maybe you deserve to have better than I had. And maybe at that time I didn't feel like I deserved better than to be met fully, you know, where I was at. And there's no like right or wrong. Everybody's on their own soul path, and that's fine. But the reality is it's like a willingness of where are you? And if someone's gonna meet you, both partners have to be willing to work through whatever's coming up, you know? And we have Jupiter and Pluto again conjunct at 24 degrees. In Capricorn. That's structure. That's, you know, Jupiter's expansion, but Capricorn's like restriction. It's Saturn, and Saturn's retrograding back. It's at 0 degrees of Aquarius right now, but it's going to go back into Capricorn on July 1st, right? And it's going to be like at 29 degrees, so not far off. You can give more degrees than 3 or 4 for the outer planets, so there's going to be a massive effect there. And for me, again, it's my 3rd house of communication. And Jupiter and Pluto now are sitting on my Black Moon Lilith, the subjugated goddess, the first wife of Adam, who said no. I'm not going to do missionary position with you. I'm going to have the way I want it, and if you can't handle it, you can just go. Or I'll just go. and you can pull in a new wife who's gonna allow you to like put her under your thumb. Those days are gone, okay? That's just done. So it's really interesting to look at your own chart and see what's happening, but we're really, really at a major shift point, and it's like you have to be at the place where even if it makes you uncomfortable to go through it to get to where you need to be, then you have to step through that. If you don't, you're gonna have a really hard time. And do you wanna still hang on to the shit that's not working, that you wish would work? And you're still holding out hope? There's the South Node in Sagittarius. Like, no. Like, why? Well, here's the thing. If people are willing to meet you, it's their actions that are going to show you. They can speak 1,000 words, you know, and we've all been freaking like pulled in by the wordsmiths and the spin doctors, right? Because you want to believe, if you have a big open heart and you're a kind person, that people really mean what they say. And you might overlook that their actions haven't matched up with their words for a while, but eventually the end of the road is going to come up and you're going to be like, no, I'm not doing it anymore. And so I'm watching this friend of mine, you know, go through something similar that I went through, and I'm like, save yourself a few years of heartache. Just don't do it. You know, if they want to meet you at the capacity that you're at, great. But put your boundaries up, Saturn. Like, don't allow that to come in and out of your life, you know? You can be at a different level, and if you're cool with that, then that's fine, you know? But what do you truly want for yourself? Like, what speaks to your heart? Because on a planet of almost 8 billion people, regardless of somebody being like the exact mirror to who you are on a soul level, and that's fine, there is somebody else that could step in and meet you where you're at, you know? Not settling. I had this crazy dream last night, I swear, like the planets are so intense, and there's the Virgo moon. It was very detailed, this dream. But seeing the other one settling, it was so clear. It was like this mirror in the car with somebody in the rear view mirror and the two faces going back and forth, and it was so trippy, and I went, wow, I'm not settling. I would never settle. Like, no way, no thank you. Rather be by myself than settle, you know? So this is the time to really step into your power. Eclipses are huge. You don't even need to understand astrology, but I bet you're feeling it, you know? And really take good care of yourself. And be thankful, like, for those around you that really, like, get you and make your heart sing, because stuff's gonna go down in the next few days. It's gonna get really more intense than it has been. And I know that might sound funny because it's been pretty freaking intense. But my whole plan was to leave Florida at the end of June and come back to like the Mount Shasta area, and my soul was like screaming at me, girl, you better get out of here around your birthday, which is the end of May, 27th to be exact. And I listened, but I always listen. I'll tell you a quick story, you know, and your soul might nudge you and you might blow it off, or maybe you see signs, but you're like, oh, that doesn't make sense, that really can't be for me. A dear girlfriend of mine who's an amazing medium, and she's had the gift since she was a young child, her teachings are always like first thought, first impression. Don't throw anything out. Because with that, that's your intuition. Do you feel into it, or are you still in your freaking monkey mind? Like, so for me, I kept hearing, you better get out of here like the end of May. Don't wait until the end of June, because you might not be able to leave Florida. And now they've already shut the bars down. They had reopened things in Florida. I don't know what phase they were in, but the bars were reopened, the beaches were reopened, and now, and again, I don't really buy into the whole, you know, virus thing. We're created from viruses. We have millions of them in our spine at any given time. So what are we supposed to do? Like wear a mask now when every virus comes out of our system and something triggers it? No, I don't know. We're going to get into that later. But the reality is that I could have stayed if I had the monkey mind and I just listened to the logical all the time, or what's supposed to look good, or I can't have this because society expects it of me and it might be too hard and I can't possibly jump through that hoop. I would have stayed in Florida until like the end of June. My mom's birthday is the last day of June. And I thought, no, I gotta get out of here. And I'm so glad that I did. The road trip that I had with my friend was freaking amazing. Amazing. I have not one regret of driving from Florida to California. It was such a beautiful trip. You know, within those 4 nights, 5 days, we had this routine of like stopping at a certain time, finding takeout, going back to the hotel, settling in, eating a beautiful meal, maybe having a little wine. I got her hooked into Vikings because I love that show on the History Channel. Like, and I had fallen off a few years ago, so now I'm back into like season 4. But I started in the beginning with her, and it was great. And we had such a good time, you know. And that all culminates with me listening to myself, because I'm in tune with my spirit, and that comes into feeling. The sun is in Cancer. It's about your emotional body. How do you feel? Not what you freaking think you should be doing. Or, you know, society expects this of me, or I can't do that because you live too far away, or whatever the hell it is. Figure it out. Because if you're not true to yourself, the real you, not the monkey mind you, I say this in a lot of videos, because that's part of the shit that I'm releasing. The whole heady thing. I can't even wrap my freaking mind around anybody living in their head so much. Anybody. Let alone like millions of people who are not in tune with their spirit. So this third pass, this Cancerian stuff is like step into your freaking heart, because the nodes were in Cancer and Capricorn. So like North Node is always the destiny point where we should be going. Cancer rules the emotions, the safe home, the nurturance, the family, the mother energy, the feminine, leaving behind the Capricornian, very cold, patriarchal, I gotta have it all dialed in, I'm in charge of this business, I have to do it this way all the time, very structured, very rigid. That's done. Now the nodes are in Gemini and Sagittarius, but the illusion of the South Node in Sag is like false beliefs, false gurus, false prophets, false freaking groups that you belong to that are spewing bullshit that you bought into for so long over lifetimes, not just this lifetime. Like, figure it out. Gemini, the facts. This is actually like speaking of local travel, you know? So are you stuck where you're at? And now you have to settle because you made choices that weren't really what your heart and soul wanted, but you're in the monkey mind. There goes that bird singing, see? The bird's like, be free from your heart. Just blows my mind. So yeah, as we step into the full moon eclipse coming up on the 4th or 5th of July, depending where you're at, let's see what's going to culminate. But tonight, Mars, like I said, is going back into its home sign of Aries, and I, for one, am excited about that. It's action. It's the warrior. It's like, yeah, get freaking uncomfortable to get to where you need to be. I'm already done it. Like, I'm still peeling off layers, but like, I want to show you where I'm at. This is me listening to my soul. Do you see how serene this is? It's gorgeous here. This is one of my most favorite spots in Northern California, you know? Why am I here? Because I had the courage to listen to my heart and not my freaking head. That wasn't my head telling me to get out of Florida. It was my soul urging me. And I always listen to that. Always. I really hope you all start to step into the trueness of who you really, truly are. You deserve that. You didn't come here to play it small. You didn't come here to do what people expect you to do or be comfortable because you're in your own little box. Like, expand out of that. It's time for expansion, you guys. Let's rock this shit. And let's not let anybody subjugate us. We are sovereign beings, and we deserve to be sovereign. And if somebody wants to step into your life, if you're looking for that, make sure that they can meet you where you're at and that they're willing to grow with you and expand with you. Because anything less, you are selling yourself short. And if these 3 eclipses don't change that, I don't know what will. So I am totally expanding. I am so excited and ready for what the universe is going to gift to me. I'm feeling it. I'm in probably the most powerful spot for me on the planet. Other than a few other places like Glastonbury/Avalon, you know. And again, I've said it, I don't think I'm going to wind up here fully, but I'm going to, like, when the restrictions are eased, and they will eventually, flit around the planet and do my work. But I know that my inner home is in deep peace, and for that I am so grateful. I am grateful for the holy I Am presence that runs the boat, you know. Thank you for pushing me to take care of me and not to listen to the little that we've had for lifetimes. That is not, it's not the real you, people. I'm sending you love. Get ready for this next eclipse. And if you gotta get uncomfortable to get comfortable, do it.